So, all the games are done over the course of the weekend as we welcome you back in for Goal Zone presented by Toyota. We will bring you every goal from every game today. There were 6 of them in total. Robbie Mustoe, Tim Howard, alongside myself, Rebecca Lowe. At half-time, Robbie, you were not best pleased with that Chelsea team. Feeling better now? Yeah,
and to be fair, they didn't unravel, which I thought they might. Maybe Reece James and a few others did get in amongst them. Second half was much better, as Graham said, much more on the front foot, trying to make things happen. But I tell you what, we just watched him for a minute. Callum McFarland made a big decision at half-time that changed the second half, or helped change it. Andre Santos on for Esteval. Santos plays alongside Reece James. We haven't got the painful watch of Enzo Fernandez trying to get back, Cole Palmer trying to get back to help out. Those two held it together, allowed those two players to go and press, and it was very different. For a rookie manager like that, to make that big call to bring off Esteval, you know, this superstar Brazilian winger, for a holding midfield player, defensive type, when you're behind, was well done, changed it.
Fair play.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, I thought the lap change was good as well. He's someone who hasn't really sort of gotten up to speed yet with this Chelsea team, but he was good. He made a difference. He was a focal point for them, at least allowed them to get up the pitch, which we saw in the first half. Maybe the system changed, but João Pedro couldn't even get past midfield in the first half. So, yeah, good day for him. And
Tim, from a points point of view, Chelsea sitting 5th now, 3 points behind the top 4. Yeah. We don't yet know who the next manager is going to be. The favourite seems to be Liam Rosenior from Strasbourg, who's going to come apparently at the early stages of next week. If and when he comes, he wants to come into a team that is not tanking.
Totally. I mean, the fact that they're picking up points there, they just need to be in and around it, and then get a manager in and get settled again. Top 4 is the aim. It's never been win a title this year, so I mean, it's still salvageable.
Manchester City, were they complacent?
Yeah, Graham so got it spot on, I thought. Just let Chelsea back into the game. Whether it was first half to go and really punish Chelsea's kind of sloppiness and lethargy really in the first half, they didn't do that. And second half, when Chelsea started a little better, I'm then expecting City, like, come on, let's get the football going again. They never did. And this is big stakes. That's a big gap now behind Arsenal. That was a really important game and a very winnable game, given the Chelsea situation and the way that the visitors were so lacklustre in the first half. So they'll have regrets about that, Pep and his team, because that should not have got away from them.
Big time. I mean, the final ball in the second half was so lackluster. I mean, these are world-class players. I mean, they can put the ball on a dime, right? And every time that final ball needed to get squared across, it got cut out. I mean, I can probably count 4 times in the second half where the ball that gets squared gets cut out. You're thinking, but that just needs to be a little bit more out in front. So it was lazy, it was lethargic. We saw that in the first half, though, as well.
You expect City, with their football, to control the game. Get Chelsea running around, they're leading the match, but they didn't do that. Pep will be so angry because Pep demands that his teams really control the football with their possession, and their football recently has been really good. Today it wasn't. And fair play to Chelsea because they changed it and they were a little different, but still, wow, that was poor from City in the second half.
In the second half, Tim, would Pep have sensed that Chelsea goal was coming? And if, just from all of his experience, and if so, could he have done anything to stop it?
No, because I think he made the changes. He trusts his front players. Doku came on, he was lively, but he trusts his front players to make the right decisions and make the key pass, and they just didn't do it today. It wasn't necessarily at the back where they were stretched. They didn't get it done. As you said, the football that has been good wasn't crisp and clean today.
Okay.
Just Rebecca, quickly, they lost the defenders, didn't they? Both centre-backs came out of the game. Mm-hmm. You know, Rodri had to play longer, maybe minutes than he wanted to. And I think, quite honestly, they thought they had the game wrapped up. It was a late goal, but that's a painful one.
People are asking those questions again about whether they're going to be in a title race. They've beaten Barcelona in the Champions League. Players would have had a very different feeling then about what their future is going to be to maybe what they think now, and they're only human. Do you think there will be a sense of, I don't know, shock at what's happened, disappointment at what's happened? No, because he hasn't gone from a position of weakness, has he? I know they haven't been on a great run.
Yeah, but Chappers, if you look at Chelsea and Chelsea's model, I think they are where they're supposed to be. I don't think they're as good as Arsenal. I don't think they're as good as Man City. You know, and fighting for top 4 with young players in the market and then trying to sell them on is where they should be. Yes, there's been a downturn in form, but with young players, that's always going to be the case.
It is. I think the hard part, what I think maybe the fan base is struggling with this historically. They're used to challenging. And I think they have made a small bit of progress with Maresca in that first season where they won trophies. This season, you would argue that up until that game, the Arsenal game, you know, where we say they were making progress again. It looked as if they were going to be challenging this season. They've had a terrible run in form for whatever it may be. There's been petulance in terms of red cards. There's been injuries that they've had to deal with. Tactically, the manager has made small mistakes here or there as well in terms of maybe changes at certain times on the pitch, or, you know, players who maybe needed a rest, so they've been left out, and then the player who comes in isn't quite as good as that one. But for me, moving forward, there is a positivity element as well, where you could say, yes, they've not got the best squad. They've got a load of young players who are all growing together. We saw with Arsenal, you know, where they were in a similar position, where they had young players who they've almost brought a group together, and now, years down the line, they're challenging. The difference with Chelsea, unfortunately, is that I don't know if they've signed the players for the specific positions, and that's the danger for me.
That's a really interesting point there about, do you think we still judge Chelsea and look at Chelsea as if they were the Chelsea of maybe a decade ago or a bit more under Abramovich, and this is very different Chelsea now, but are we still judging them as if they were the superpower of a decade ago?
Yeah, and I think for the fans, you know, with the names that are being touted, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on, they've always had top managers, won leagues, won the Champions League, and now the names that are in the hat, people are scratching their head. But if you actually look at Chelsea's squad and what they're trying to do, they're no longer a superpower, even though they've spent a lot of money in terms of the squad, but they've sold a lot of players as well. So if you're looking at Chelsea now, with the players that they have, I think they're about right. Challenging for Champions League, it's just what they do moving forward, but them of winning European Cups. But I will say, Chelsea could be anyone on any given day, and we've seen that in the Club World Cup, we've seen that in the Conference League, but consistently throughout the Premier League is going to be more difficult with the players that I have.
Yeah, they're a different team now, different club now. The club I joined, you know, in 2009 was a team that had won Premier Leagues before, had been widely successful, had world-class, but I walked to a dressing room and some of the players, you look around and you're like, whoa, I'm in here with legendary players. And from the manager perspective, to Micah's point, is that they were always had sort of like legendary managers too. You start thinking Ancelotti, you think of Jose Mourinho, you think of, you know, the managers. They had Conte, they had Sarri coming, who successful managers, Gus Hiddink, Scolari. They've had so many top level, big name coaches where you go, wow, I know these guys. I think at the moment, you know, no disrespect to the managers that Blue Co have brought in, but none of them have really been proven to win trophies. And I think at a football club like Chelsea, when you're used to winning trophies, the anticipation is we're bringing managers in that are used to winning as well, that can put that mindset onto the younger players and say, this is how you do it.
I said they were still playing at Craven Cottage, so that 1-1 wasn't...
Of the game, did you feel that your team could have managed the game better at all while it was at 1-0, while it was at 1-0?
Yeah, I don't know what does it mean. It's because you score a goal in the last minutes, and that's why we managed quite well in the first half. In the second half, they had 2 chances because we lost 2 balls in the beginning, but we misjudged in the talent players at the end. 2-1, 3-2, you know, too close. They didn't create much. We were extraordinary in all departments, except we could not score the second or the third or the fourth that we had it in the first and the second half. So, of course, the second half make a step up. So the first half they were a little bit more cautious. The second half had nothing to lose. They were more, and at the end they found the reward.
Hi, Pep. Can I ask about Josko Gvardiol and the injury?
We'll see tomorrow. It doesn't look good in him and Ruben, so we'll see what happens.
Because Ruben was an injury as well?
Yeah, looks like, yeah.
Would they like knocks or muscle or?
Yeah, looks like, yeah.
Muscle?
I didn't speak with him, doctor, but if Ruben is out, it's because he felt something, yeah.
David?
Hi, Pep. Can I ask you about Rodri? He seems much better now, much more at ease with you know, the usual Rodri.
I have been much better than the last year and a half. Like, he's not the way I didn't see him here. Yeah, definitely. He's an extraordinary player. You know, he doesn't need his composer. He makes us play better in many things. That's the big question mark now. in 3 days we have another one against tough opponent. He had to play or not. But Kovacic and Nico Gonzalez are not, I would say, ready. But also Nico, so we'll see how we manage.
More drop points and 6 points behind Arsenal now. How do you see the title race? And you can't
Wednesday, Brighton, and we'll see step by step.
Don't want to expand on.
I don't have a crystal ball to know what's going to happen in the future, so I don't know. Only I think is recover the players, and Wednesday Brighton, of course, we were closer. So the way incredible we play in Sunderland the second half, and today we didn't get but score a goals or be clinical is part of, I would say, all the stats, many things that you can solve. Of course, you can create chances, and the expecting goals are higher than everyone, but have to do it. And we play, but as a manager, I said to the team, so never could be more, part of that. So they played really, really good against this team, really, really good.
Just following on from what Jack said, are there any concerns about the number of injuries to defenders? Yeah. Obviously, it's hard when you get injuries to one group of players.
Of course, I have a lot. Stone is missing for I don't know how many months, and Ruben now will be out, and Josko will be out, and Nathan. Always we know with Nathan cannot play regularly, so a situation. But in the same time, will happen last season. So stay strong, and we will find the solution. The spirit will be there. The spirit is there, and will be there.
Alex. Hi Pep, just a quick one on Rodri. You mentioned then obviously a huge boost to have him back. Is he now at the stage, do you think, where he can play 3 games in a week? Or
I don't. That is I said before, you didn't listen to me. It's the biggest question mark. So I don't know.
The schedule kind of demands that a little bit, though, doesn't it? Of a play, especially with Nico Gonzalez, if he's out longer term than with a few.
Yeah, what I'm saying, we'll see. We'll see day by day. Always they happen in the past. So don't make. We'll see tomorrow. Action, and we'll see. We'll take a decision day of the game.
Pep, in the second half, we could see you sometimes getting a little frustrated at your team giving the ball away. The second half performances sometimes after the break, you've been giving away a few chances. Is that a lack of concentration in the team?
No. We cannot play the way we play. It's like concentration. We just sometimes the players need, I need the pass to do it, or I can keep it a little bit more. So when the fatigue is there in 1-0 in the last minutes, maybe we can keep a little bit more right, left, Cherky to Jeremy to Cherky a little bit more. We could to finish a little bit closer, but it's normal. They are aggressive, they are strong, and sometimes it happen. But it's not about it. Sometimes you take a bad decision. That doesn't mean it's lack of concentration. It's happened. So they play. So in general, was outstanding. So the first half, and especially, of course, when the team demand to be more aggressive, like they happen, it's a little bit more difficult. But how many times, Willing with Jeremy Erling, we have the ball because man marking action the 2 against 1, 3 against 4. It was 4, 3, 4, 5 for the last pass. 1 meter before me, late, shorter, smaller, quicker, and that makes the difference. And today, we could not finish that.
Do you have any concerns? Talking about those injuries over your squad size now with so many games coming up?
Of course I have concern. Have you been the bench today? There's 3 players for academy, and now we have more. So we don't have players. That is the truth. Add
this January?
I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, because I know Ruben is a big loss, and just because a big loss is the partnership have done, bringing what we are. But there are incredible good things what they have done against that team. That with Enzo, I don't know now, but with Enzo we are masters in build up and masters in the process. We have done it unbelievable in many things, and unfortunately we could not. Win alive for the last 2 minutes, but in general it was really good, like it was the second half in Sunderland, and many aspects. When you miss a goal in the 6-yard box, in the penalty spot 3 or 4 times. So, and the moment we get that, it will be better.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. You mentioned the game plan in your first answer, Reece. Just tell us about that game plan, who came up with it, and how it seemed to evolve at half-time and then during the course of the second half.
No, I mean, it was, first of all, credit to the staff that stepped up. They haven't been in this role before. To come to City away, is your first first team game, is difficult. We had to, adapt fast. The first half, we felt they had too much of the ball. We had to make slight adjustments. In the second half, we came out, with a slightly different plan. As the game went on, as I said, we grew into it.
Could you just tell us about the role of senior players? You spoke about your role before the game in terms of bringing the group together. I noticed that Cucurella, Caicedo, a couple of the other senior players who were out injured or suspended, those guys were on the bench as well. They travelled with the team, so that looked like a real display of unity from all of you.
Yeah, no, as I said, we're in the difficult moment. We have to stand together, stand as a unit. We are one. There's many people that, travelled today that, we missed. But so many other players stepped up, and this is what we need. We fought as a team today, and I'm proud of the boys.
How difficult is it when a manager leaves like that?
No, of course it's difficult, but we have to fight for each other. That's the only thing we have in this moment, together, each other, and we dug in and got a point.
Enzo, could I ask you a question about the old manager as well? Because I saw you put something on your social media.
Sorry.
Just a question on Enzo Maresca.
Yeah.
What he meant to you?
Yeah, of course. No. Difficult moment for us. Enzo is a top manager. Of course, I am sad for him, but it's part of the football and the life. We keep it going and no more.
Reece, just lastly, do you know as a group what to expect next in terms of when the new manager comes in and when you'll get a chance to work with him?
No, we know nothing at the moment. This whole week was about this game. What happens, behind the scenes is not down to us. We came here, all focused on the game. We take a point at a really difficult place to come. And we have to recover. We play again in a few days, and we will see what happens in the coming days.
Okay, well played both of you. Reece is the player of the match. Enzo, if you don't mind presenting the award. How big a display of character was that?
No, I told you, we had to, accept what went on earlier on in the week and, put it behind us. We came here with a game plan. We know what level we can perform at when we're, all together and all firing. The first half we made, a slight error for their goal. But second half, as the game went on, we grew into the game. We knew a chance would come, and this guy took his chance when it came.
Enzo, you did take the chance. Just tell us, at the end of a difficult week, what that goal meant.
Yeah, difficult week for us. Difficult moment, but part of the life and the football. Today we are effort 100%. I'm happy for the team.
Leandro Trossard proved to be the perfect antidote to Arsenal's attacking frustrations, following Mikel Arteta's candid remarks about Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres may have struggled to truly impress since his summer arrival at Arsenal, but over the weekend, there was finally a glimpse of what he is capable of. More importantly, Trossard showed exactly why he could be the key to unlocking the Swedish striker's full potential during Arsenal's hard-fought 2-1 victory over Wolves at the Emirates Stadium. The 31-year-old winger injected fresh energy into Mikel Arteta's side on Saturday night and helped breathe new life into the Gunners' attack. Shortly after replacing Gabriel Martinelli in the second half, Arsenal found the breakthrough. While Trossard did not directly contribute to either the opening goal or the dramatic stoppage time winner, his influence on the game was undeniable. Trossard took control of proceedings, dictating the tempo and pulling the strings down the left flank. Time and again, he dismantled Wolves' compact defensive setup, releasing Miles Lewis-Skelly into space, picking out Declan Rice on the edge of the box, and crucially, feeding Gyökeres with intelligent, well-timed passes. Operating as a creative hub, the Belgian showcased his playmaking qualities, delivering sharp, purposeful distribution. His introduction completely shifted the momentum of the match, and for the first time in weeks, Arsenal's $64 million striker briefly looked like a genuine threat. Before Trossard's arrival, Gyökeres endured a frustrating and ineffective outing in attack. In fact, the Belgian was the only player to carve out a clear-cut opportunity for the 27-year-old forward, slipping a simple yet incisive ball in behind the Wolves' backline. Gyökeres controlled the pass, beat his defender, and aimed for the far post. Wolves goalkeeper Sam Johnstone was beaten, but the Swedish striker saw his effort agonizingly drift just wide. If Arteta truly wants to get the best out of Gyökeres, then granting Trossard a more prominent role in the starting 11th could be the solution. Speaking to TNT Sports after the win, the Arsenal manager openly addressed the challenges facing his marquee signing. "It's a collaboration between the two," Arteta explained. "He was in some really good positions, but the ball didn't arrive quickly enough, accurately enough, or with the precision a number 9 needs to score." But his commitment and intention were there, and we have to keep pushing. Arteta was equally vocal in defending Gyökeres prior to the match, urging patience with the striker's adaptation to English football. "There was huge expectation because we were signing a proven goal scorer, probably with the best statistics in Europe," Arteta said. "But he's coming into a different league, the most demanding league in the world. What happens if he doesn't score in 5 or 6 games? That was the only question I asked him. How are you going to react if you don't score in 5 or 6 matches? Can you handle that? And what about the next 100 games? That's what people need to see. The sample size is still very small, so leave him alone. Let him do what he does best. Support him, and I'm convinced things will come good." That message from Arteta resonated beyond the Emirates. In the days following the Wolves' victory, the debate around Gyökeres intensified among pundits, supporters, and former players. While some questioned whether Arsenal's record signing is truly suited to the Premier League's pace and physicality, others pointed to the structural issues around him rather than the striker himself. Much of the post-match analysis focused on Arsenal's chance creation and balance in the final third. The Wolves game highlighted a recurring theme this season. Gyökeres often makes the right movements, but the service into dangerous areas has been inconsistent. When Trossard entered the match, that problem briefly disappeared. Arsenal suddenly looked more fluid, more unpredictable, and far better equipped to supply a traditional number 9. Former players speaking on television and radio were quick to note the contrast. With Trossard drifting inside and linking play, Arsenal's attacking shape became more compact, allowing Gyökeres to stay higher up the pitch and occupy central defenders. That, in turn, created space for midfield runners like Rice and Ødegaard to arrive late in the box. It was a glimpse of an attacking formula that Arsenal have rarely sustained this season. The reaction from supporters has been equally divided. While frustration with Gyökeres' goal return remains, there is growing appreciation for his work rate, physical presence, and willingness to press from the front. Many fans now see Trossard as the missing connector, the player who can translate Gyökeres' movement into genuine scoring opportunities. Internally, Arteta faces an important decision. Persisting with a front line that isolates Gyökeres risks damaging the striker's confidence, especially with tougher fixtures on the horizon. At the same time, promoting Trossard to a regular starting role could mean reshuffling wide positions and reducing Martinelli's minutes, a bold call that would not come without consequences. Yet football at the highest level often comes down to chemistry rather than reputation. The Wolves match suggested that Arsenal's most expensive signing may not need drastic changes to his own game, but rather the right supporting cast around him. If Arteta embraces that idea, Gyökeres' slow start could soon be remembered as nothing more than a difficult adjustment period. For now, the pressure remains. Goals will ultimately define Gyökeres' Arsenal career, and patience in North London is never unlimited. But with Trossard offering clarity, creativity, and calm in possession, Arsenal may finally have found the key to unlocking their striker and turning promise into consistent production.